Onto this now. The late 80s and early 90s marked possibly some of the darkest times in the struggle for freedom. Over 20,000 people were killed over that period in KwaZulu-Natal alone. Today, the eThekwini Municipality will host the Siyabakhumbula Memorial Day. It will be held in uNgababa, where 29 people were killed in 1992. Our reporter Lethiwe Mdluli is there and joins us from there. Lethiwe, my apologies. A rather somber moment, I assume, for so many affected by those deaths all those years ago.
Well, we actually just finished a ceremony, a wreath-laying ceremony that was held a bit earlier on, where we heard from some of the family members that lost their loved ones in the early 80s and also in the early 90s. They were sharing their stories about how they were affected by the violence here in the province. You'd remember that over 20,000 people died during that time here in KwaZulu-Natal alone, and families are saying that they have to remember every year how that violence affected them, and they are saying that over the years they are also a bit worried about some of the things that they are seeing. Those people that perpetuated this violence have not been arrested, and some families are saying that they will not find closure until that happens. Right now we are actually getting ready to listen to some of the speeches that will be spoken by some of the speakers here in uNgababa. There is a ceremony that will be held. It's a second ceremony where families and also the keynote speakers will be sharing some of the things that they remember from their time. We do understand that the former president, Jacob Zuma, will also be delivering his keynote address to the families, just basically saying a few words to them regarding this violence. But right now I'm actually joined by Mdluli. He's one of the family members who lost their loved ones during the political instability in the province. Mdluli, thank you so much for joining us at eNCA. We've heard some of the family members sharing their testimonies on what happened during that time. You also lost loved ones. Take us through what happened.
We've come a long way. After many deaths that happened in this area, it was decided that we should try and remember, also to educate the youth about what happened from the 80s to 90s, where a lot of people were killed. And we decided to have this event, a yearly event, so that other people will learn from us that it started by a conflict between two parties. But after some negotiations, it was discovered that both sides, they don't know why they were fighting. It came clear to us that what happened here, it was something that was planned, because we remember some of the people that were found killed here, it was not black people, but it was whites painted in black. And that shocked a lot of people to see, no, that this thing that was planned by some people, it was not about the people themselves. So we decided that we are going to have this event every year so that the families as well, they forgive, although we know that they lost a lot of family members like myself. But that is also an educational part that fighting and killing alone, it does not solve the problem. Because some of the problems that we had by then, we are still having them now. And that is why, as families, we would like to see something be done so that we forgive and we go forward. For instance, some family members lost a lot of people that were going to be their breadwinners, but they don't have them now, and they are struggling. Some of them, it's only now that we are trying to see if they can be accommodated in a housing project. But even that one, we are not sure whether it will happen and when it is going to happen.
Talking about the prosecution of those people that were involved in this violence, a lot of families have shared that they're not happy that a lot of people did not get arrested for killing their loved ones. And some families are even talking about private prosecution, trying to find closure. You were affected as well. What are your feelings towards this?
That is a very bad feeling, because we were told with the TRC that people were going to reveal what they did, and then also who was sending them. But some of the people did not reveal who was their people that they send them to kill. Yeah. But some of the people that are known, they have not come forward to reveal who were the instigators that were sending them to kill people. That is very hurtful because if you look at it now, we think justice is not being done.
Do you believe that the government will be doing something towards healing the families that were affected by prosecuting those people?
We only hope that it will be the people themselves that we will come together again and demand what needs to be done, because the government alone is not going to be able to do everything that the community wants.
In terms of how you were affected personally as a family, who did you lose? What happened?
A son and a daughter. The son was part of the youth by that time, and I was the leader. And the daughter, because they were killing anyone that is related to a particular family. That's why we also got young children that were killed.
Losing your children in this way, how did that make you feel?
It was very bad. It was very bad. That is why sometimes you think whether the constitution that we're having now is protecting us, or something needs to be done. Otherwise, it will take a long time to forget. Losing one child is very hurtful. It's very painful. You cannot just forget it now. Although we are not saying that we should be compensated because our children died, but at least just to say, we know you've gone through this. At least some people are only asking for a statue that will say, oh, Artambo came here because the first day he came in South Africa, he was told at the airport that 18 people are killed at Umkababa, and he came. But if now it is a problem, even now, to ask for a statue, you can see how difficult it will be for the families. But we hope one day things will be done.
Thank you so much, Babutun.
Okay, thank you very much.
So that is one of the family members, as he shared. He lost 2 children during the political instability in this province. And what he is saying is that he's hopeful that one day they will actually be given what they need as families in terms of honoring those people that died here in the province. As you mentioned before, over 20,000 people died in the province of KwaZulu-Natal alone during that time here in KwaZulu-Natal.